and a very, very warm welcome to an absolutely interesting conversation. I promise you this is going to be interesting purely because of the amazing people that we have sitting here with us today. One of the most awaited films of 2024 is truly Thangalaan. Yes, we have the son of gold sitting with us, ladies and gentlemen. The undeniable, the ever charming, the evergreen, the hero of all times, our dear Chiyan Vikram Avargal. So happy that you're here with us today. And of course, we talk about Chiyan 61 and then it becomes Thangalaan and then there's so much of magic around it. And we see you completely different. You know, when the first look came out and we were like, where is our dearest Vikram sir? You know, and then you say, I am the Thangalaan that you guys were waiting for. So how special is Thangalaan to you?
I think that'll take a lot of describing actually. I think Thangalaan for me is, I think, something I've waited for all my life. I've done some really amazing roles and thanks to Ranjit, he's actually put me right there in the middle of something so interesting. I think it's going to be a tough time getting another role which will come anywhere close to this.
Wow.
It's been a wonderful experience working with all the artists, especially Parvati and Malavika and Pasupati, and we got Danny from London. He's an Italian from England, of course, so he's another very interesting performer. Then we have Hari, we have Ashok. Like we have, what's really nice about this film is it's just like, you know, a basket or a truckload full of actors. Like even the junior artists were actors from drama school. So we had a tough time, but we had a most interesting time getting into that world, and that's it.
So the world of Thangalaan was, obviously it existed somewhere, but you conceptualized it, gave birth to it, created it in a certain way, and you're presenting it to the world today. So Thangalaan by itself is a lot of reality, a little bit of fiction, a beautiful narrative of the tribes. So why didn't you tell us where it all started, my dearest director, Ranjit?
After Sapata Parmarai, I wanted to, when I finalized work with Vikram sir, I wanted to come with a unique story. So Vikram sir, it is not a normal regular actor, no. He's like a massive person and I'm very big fan of him. And also I wanted to tell my own stories and my ancestors' stories. And that is my thing. So when I started to think about him, and also I wanted to recheck my notes and everything, so I found KGF life, and that is very interesting thing. If you're going to read, you can easily find real gold. They found a gold, but they have a very big connection with the socio-politically. No, it is not easy. So I just wanted to tell the story with him. So that is the great thing. So he can do anything. But I wanted to give you that very competitive writing things. So that is the biggest thing. So it is kind of magical realism. It is not like a very realistic movie. It is kind of magical realism. So a lot of characters is there. So the characters and that things, trying to tell that interesting world. The world definitely exciting. The world tell that the innocent people out they found the gold. Right. In the colonial system. So the people, the oppressed people wants to live like, it is a big struggle. So the movie dealt it in a right way.
Like you're saying, it's a specific clan of people who struggled a few hundred years ago. And they're rooted as natives, and there is a story that we want to narrate through our protagonist, Thangalaan, right? And that protagonist is you, Vikram sir. But in all of Pa Ranjit sir's films, one of the strongest, potent factors that we see is the positioning of the women in the story. It is very rare that you find films, and it's so worthy of that kind of celebration to have extremely strong feminine characters in the film. And I think as much as Thangalaan is concerned, we've got two extremely, and I'm saying unfathomable characters because purely of your stature in the industry, the kind of characters that you take and the kind of films that you do and the awards that you hold, the accolades that you hold are so noteworthy and so celebratory. And similarly for Malavika, the kind of effort that you put in to become the Aarati of this film. So tell us about how you said yes to Thangalaan. How did the magic happen in your lives?
I would say more than working with a filmmaker like Ranjit sir, in a film which has Vikram sir, that itself is a draw factor on paper. Just the fact that you're getting to work with these two amazing talents. And on top of that, the fact that you have a fantastic character, like Arati, the character that I played in the film. It's you have to see the film to believe it. You know, I wouldn't even know where to begin describing her, but what a wonderful, interesting character. To have that was the cherry on the cake, which already had so much going on with the entire cast, with Parvati, with Pasupati sir, with everybody, you know. So there were so many layers of I really want to do this movie, and I think more than me choosing Tangalan or choosing this project, I really wanted to be chosen for the project. I wanted him to choose me to play this character. I didn't know at that point, I'll be honest. When I was offered the film, I didn't know what the character would be. But I like I said, I wanted to work with the team. And then I read the script and I read the character and I was like, oh, wow. You know, like you rightfully said, he, like in all of Ranjit sir's films, he's one of the very few filmmakers in the entirety of the Indian film industry who currently writes very good female roles.
Yeah.
Most makers don't do that. That's the truth. We do films also which don't have great roles sometimes, just to keep it going. You can't always just wait for the right thing, you know, because they're far and few. So one of my draw factors when I read the script was that, like after I read several times, or like I told you previously, I read the script like back to back some 5-6 times, and then I kept reading it. Because I was so fascinated with the world, and it took several readings to even understand the world. It was such a unique and different world. I remember thinking that I want young girls or impressionable young women to watch a character like Arati. To watch a character, we are constantly shown that men are obviously more physically powerful, physically stronger. Men are stronger in every sense, is what we are shown in female characters, unless you're a mother. Because if you're a mother, then obviously, you know, you have more emotional strength. But that's it. These are the stereotypes, you know, women are put into. But here was a character who's physically stronger than the male counterpart, you know. And it's a constant fight between them. Like, if not stronger, at least like they're constantly battling it with each other. And that itself is so rare. So if there's a 12-year-old girl or a 14-year-old girl sitting in the audience watching this and feeling like, hey, you know, I have that power inside me too. And if that creates an impression in her head, then it's a win. It's a win for the film, you know. Like a lot of things resonated with me, obviously, the story, the journey of the characters. But this was something I felt very strongly, that women are powerful, and this is a role which finally shows that, you know. So I want to do it justice, and I want to bring it to life in the right way. Otherwise, I would regret not, you know, it's a cause that's larger than just my performance. So I hope it's come out that way, but I could go on and on. But these are some of the things
But
that
आरती
really
के लिए
attracted
आपने
me.
यस किसके लिए कहा था? दिल से कहा था, दिमाग से कहा था?
मेरा एकदम intuitive yes आ गया था यार.
Okay.
I was just like, Paranjit Vikram. Yes. Not even yes. I was like, I want, you know.
मतलब
Now
जिगर
that I
कहता है कि
figured
ये
out,
कर लो यार, अब तो करना ही करना है.
करना ही करना. Like you know, somehow I was like, I somehow want this.
Wow. And you should tell us the character of Gangamal. You know, where, you know, every time we speak to Vikram sir about your character, and he says, you know what, this is a rite of a love story. So tell us about the rite of the love story in the film.
I think it's been quite a journey, and I got a call from Ranjit, I think 2022, end of it. And then there was this whole thing that there was once he did call me, and I felt so bad that
Yes,
we
sir.
couldn't work. I'm not going to say that. there was a particular thing many years ago. He
She's
called
out to
me for
get-
something, and it didn't work out for various reasons. And I was like, damn it, I lost that chance. It's like, when will I? And I always feel like, as an actor, I feel like if I say no, or if it doesn't work out, then we might not be considered in the next few. Like, oh man, like it might be difficult to get her on board or something. But apparently it's told that his team were trying to get in touch with me or get my number for a while now. And the fact that I could have missed out on this still gives me like that nightmare kind of thing. It's like, no, I did get to do it. That's good. It came close to me, them not reaching me or something like that. But then when I spoke to him, he gave me a very basic, like sort of an outline of what your character might be, what the placement is in the story or something. Then I requested if he can give me a narration. which he hesitantly, grudgingly agreed. And but then he did for 2 hours. I salute him for that.
You got a narration.
He came on a Zoom call.
But that narration is different.
It's just that 2 hours he was not trying to tell me who Gangamal is. He was not trying to sell it or anything like that. He was like, this is the world I'm planning to make. There's a lot more than this that's going to happen. And I was awestruck by the storytelling of it. And I was like, I don't know where Gangamal is going to fit into this. I have no idea where she figures, where she doesn't figure. But I want to be a part of this. But then previous day when he called me, first itself he told me, it's like, Vikram sir is going to do the project. And I was like, this has to happen. Like, I've been manifesting this for ages. Every time I get to meet him at an award event, and we start talking, and we immediately start talking about the craft of acting.
Right.
Even if we are like surrounded by people at a party or something, she'll be like, "What's that character? How did you this is?" And I was like, "This will be such a riot to work with him."
Yeah.
So that was a great mix, right? Ranjit, and then it's not until I got to the set that I realized Gangamal is going to be very elusive. I wasn't able to quite catch her, but then I had my Tangalan and I had Ranjit. I had all the fights that needed to have had in order to kind of get, not me grasping her, but Gangamal grasping me. That would be more appropriate. And no amount of discussions were giving me the clarity.
Right.
It had to be me going and being her again and again and again, fall flat on the face, fail at it, again and again and again. So much so there is no shame left in your system anymore. There's no guilt left in your system anymore. You are broken, body, mind and soul. Then she comes. It's an apparition to wait for. And yes, it is a mad love story. One of the scenes that I read, and I think I kept rereading it, was this very potent point of grief. Like a sort of an incoming grief. You can see what's going to happen. Your life is not going to be the same anymore. It's between Tangalan and Gangamal. And the way Ranjit's written it, I feel like someone's got to know love that well to write that between a husband and wife.
Wow.
I was like, oh, that's an intimacy nobody has written before. I remember wanting to read it 5-6 times because I was like, I want to touch this scene. So that's how he's written his women also, like something that Malu is also saying. Like, I am Gangamal, I have 5 children, I'm married, I work hard, I have my daily routine thing going on. I'm not thinking about my body fat, I'm not thinking about whether I'm wearing a blouse or no, I'm getting through my day. So every time I had some kind of physical inhibition, she'd bring me back to that reality that you are playing Gangamal.
Yeah.
And so in a lot of ways I would say that I was also freed out of a lot of shackles by playing Gangamal.
Wow.
That my body could just exist without being judged at all. And that too happened because of how Gangamal dresses and how she just is.
That's the most poetic bit of this conversation, by the
Is
way.
it?
Really,
Yeah.
seriously then. Okay, and Vikram sir, tell us about your prep for the character. You had to be Tangalan. There was so much of research that went to it. Such a narrative that comes from him, and his narrative was a 2-liner, right?
No, he's
One and a
narrated the
half.
whole thing.
It's getting shorter by each
For English, we need to say
We need to say
different.
more, okay.
He gave me the book.
the unreleased copy.
No, she had an interesting point where she said she had this thing where she wants a child to be in the theatre and watch her and think a woman can be this strong. I think for me it was the other way around. It's a Walter first, because for me it's like a man, I learned that a man can be vulnerable. Like, you don't have to be strong all the time. So through the film, I think about it, he's a hero, he's a warrior, he's out there, he can do anything. But we always have him vulnerable. He's always vulnerable, not just to nature, not just to, trials and tribulations, but from his family, from his friends, from everybody. He can get rejected. How do you get back from that? And how do you exist in a milieu where everybody is equal? There's no, considering at that time, women were working as hard, women were going for war, they had calloused hands, they could fight, they could cook, they could do more things than even now. It's like that. My understanding as an actor is I've always had movies where I'll always tell the director, give more of a role to the women too, like how the villain also should be strong. You can't be tulping him all the time. So when you have, it doesn't have to be a man-centric or a woman-centric film, but if it helps the role, if you can, for the story, if you can have something that's strong and powerful, it works both ways. And Ranjit, like you said rightfully, every film of his has such strong women characters, and this one was like we were all equal. Like I get beaten, I beat. There's no image there about not just hero of even being a man. Like and the beautiful thing about us is you say love stops when you get married, but here he just says so beautifully that love continues after 5 children. And when one of them is getting ready to have his own child, actually one of my eldest son, our eldest son is already 22. But then we still carry on. We have these, and it's not smutty, or it's not because it's at a time like that where, I mean, actually that was a thought. Time like that, they're going to be less cultured, how they express, how you grab somebody. You're not going to be coy about it, or you're not going to tiptoe past them. You're going to just grab, or they're going to grab you, and the way you interact is going to be very different. But in that also, it was done so beautifully and poetically, like what she was describing the other scene too. There's no place that you feel, oh my God, is this too private? I mean, am I watching something that my child shouldn't watch? It's so personal, it's so real. And the romance continues after 5 children. When we have a banter, it's like she'll say, yeah, like, when you're talking about, she'll say, get me a blouse. Like, can you believe now it's like, it's taken for granted. What blouse do I have? What kind of design, blah, blah. For there, having a blouse was such a big thing. Women in our community, I mean, everybody, were basically without. That's how they used to be. I mean, the English are the ones who taught us else otherwise. So she'll say, I want to be like that English lady, I want to be like that, and we make fun of her. Then she says, okay, you get me that. I say, give me a child, I'll give you. Then get me more blouses, give me more children. Like, it's like how people talk in the villages, but there will be a bit of passion, a bit of love, and at the same time, we are at each other's throats all the time. So it is beautiful. And with Malavika, it was like physical combat like that, because she is another force to reckon with. So there's no place I felt like, I trust Ranjit, and also I trust my thinking, where I feel I can't go there. I've always given him that strength, like make me do anything. Like he said first, Kunjo mudi, you need to take it off. I say, how much? I said, okay. Then he actually said, yes, I could see that wearing it. Then he said, and of course you can't be wearing clothes, you'll be wearing a loincloth. I said, okay. Then he's saying, what? This guy's again saying, like I wasn't bothered. And even in the shot, he'll say, little more up, a little more. I say, what? So all the others, I'll say, what about him? What about him? Yeah, but you're the main guy, up. So I have to lift it up, and because after a point you're doing it, you're being them. I can't come there and say, no, I'm going to be dignified.
I think it's the only film where the man is wearing the least amount of clothes.
Yeah, exactly. She was more dressed, she was very dressed up, even though she was not wearing a blouse. This one was also fully. I was like when you have to search for it. It was like that. Yeah. And the nice thing is, like, I have played a couple of characters, and one of the predominant characters I actually have a paunch. I'll put it out and I'll stand up, because I was thinking that's the way he is. So never did I feel, okay, this, and what about good looks, or you looking smart, or this frame, nothing. You come in looking the way you look. Over that we had mud, and we had ash, gold powder, blood, scars, like all over the place, and you can hardly make out, is this Vikram? No, this is not. Oh, this is Vikram. Oh, sorry. It was like that. All of us were like in muck. So you go in there just shedding everything, not just your inhibitions, everything you have about cinema. You're going to be very primal, you're just going to go there. It's going to be as primitive as it gets. Just go in there and do it, and we enjoyed it. It was like, I don't think I worked in a film, even most of the films which are very difficult for me, I'd still say there's about 2% of difficulty compared to this.
Wow.
But we enjoyed every second. Like every day I used to tell him, I come out of the set thinking I want to go home. Gosh, I can't. Do we have to go for shooting tomorrow? But the day they say schedule pack up, I come in the car, it's okay, because every day we travel to and from a car. Get on the plane, and suddenly you have this luxury, and you have people dressed up well, and you suddenly feel like, actually, oh God, what am I wearing? It's so strange. I've been blessed to work with some really good directors, and I think he's easily one of the best I worked. The way we came into a sync wherein he could bring out, see, you all have an actor in you. Yes. You know how you bring it out is sometimes you discover it on your own. But sometimes you need a director who may cajole you, who may come and act for you, who may bring it out, or who may not do anything, but he will get it, So Ranjit
I'm blessed, such an extraordinary actors, like.
It was, see, you don't have to be modest. I feel like this is one of my best performances, and I'm just waiting for my family to watch it, my friends to watch it, my fans. I think it's like, I can't wait. See, I want to say, there's one shot, in that shot, I mean, I got hit so many times, I know that, because we didn't use dupes at all.
Fight was happening.
It was all real. Yeah. Like, in that shot, she's supposed to come in, they're fighting me, and she's fighting, she's trying to pull me back. They hit her. I saw her in that dust, I could see her go dum, 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 like she actually fell. You remember that shot? She won't roll. She went flying, dum, and she goes up, and I was like, shit. So you react to that. And the way they were hitting me and they're pushing me, that you would have seen in the trailer also. They push me in the ash and you can't breathe. Every sequence was like that. I couldn't breathe because actually I'm getting choked. So when you're acting, you're doing that already. Then they're choking you. There's some guy who's holding you tighter. And then you have dust and ash. And ash is like, it's all very minuscule. Yeah. So how do you can't breathe at all. So in that kind of a situation you're seeing, and then you're seeing this girl just flying from there, and it's all particulate matter, no? So you get suffocated. So that's how the whole sequence, every scene was like that. Every scene will have some element of, even if it's a lovemaking scene, it'll be horrific for us. Because you have to perform. If you're sitting there alone, you're just sitting and your kids are doing something and you're just daydreaming, it'll be horrific. Because there will be some element of goo, blood, blah, 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 and somebody, you'll be sitting in a weird position like this, maybe. I say there was no place when you like, you just are ready, shot ready, you go do the shot and come. No. Everything was harrowing. But that actually, considering all of us, we love to act, it was so beautiful because you just want to, come on, I can nail it, I kept constantly telling myself, only you can do it, only. I mean, maybe that's a fallacy, but I was telling myself, you can do it, only you can do it. And that's the way I kept going on.
Yeah.
Wow. And it is truly a pan-Indian film. But there's one question, Ranjit sir, that I'd like to ask you. When we talk about a pan-Indian film, the story has to be a narrative that all of India would understand, all of the world would understand. Here we're narrating the story of a clan. How much do you believe that this is going to relate to every part of the world, every part of India?
Native people in all over India, it happens same. The story happens same only. US and like everywhere. The colonial system did in same way.
Right.
If you go in Africa, in every country, the same story happened. So easily connected. The story, it's like a universal.
Yeah, and no, very clear case in point is the trailer in Hindi has got so many views because they are connecting. And another thing is, we are not like now, if you wear a Davani or you wear a Mundu, it's Malayalam, or you wear a Davani, Tamil, blah, blah, blah. That time, all of us were looking the same. We were all without clothes and we were all pushed down while we were exploited. So that will be very real, and then you have other things happening, and I don't think there's a language for this. Even in Korea, they'll definitely see it and identify with some forefather. Some search for something. It may not be gold. It could be something else. Yeah. It was very interesting. I was seeing both their worlds. So I was first shooting with her. Then I was shooting with her. So when I shot with her, she doesn't know what we did here, which is very... So suddenly they'll see clippings of this. Hey, that's very interesting. Likewise, I'll be shooting with her and somebody else. And we know it's a fantastic village and whatever happens, it's so real, blah, blah. There's so much love and blah, 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 bonhomie and all that. Suddenly they'll see this. What is that? So it's two very different worlds which come together.
We literally have one scene where she's sitting there.
Yeah, both of us. And she's saying I'm there, she's saying she's not there. And that's like...
This exact setup is how we were sitting in that scene, and that's probably the only one.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
That's the only time me and Maru shared screen like that. Like that, yeah. Otherwise, we don't have any.
But you guys are not just here, you're all over the world in a bit, you know that, right? August 15th, and we're going to be hitting screens. My last bit is going to be a rapid fire. I'm going to start with you, Ranjit sir. This is like a serious rapid fire, okay?
Serious.
When you talk about, you can tell me in like 5 words, 10 words max, okay? Your first day on the set, what was running on your mind?
I wanted to show the real exact world to the people, to the audience.
Okay, so it was
I wanted to try, yeah.
Lovely. Your biggest learning from Tangalan?
Never talk to these actors.
Compassion.
Compassion.
Oh, really? He's still not believing himself. He's convincing himself. Compassion.
No.
Compassion, no? That means you've learned.
Yes, I learned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, your biggest take back from Tangalan?
I wanted to go for a rehearsal. Without rehearsal and without planning, no, it will be more difficult. So that is I'm facing challenge in that set.
One adjective for the characters. Tangalan.
Tangalan is a gold, son of gold.
Son of gold.
Yeah, that.
Okay. Gangamal.
Gangamal. Gangamal is very close to my world. See, I want to be like Tangalan, but I'm living with Gangamal.
I like that.
Because
When you get home,
We have to talk about this.
characters, man, it's close to my mom. It's close to my.
That was a
my
good
wife.
rapid fire
No,
answer.
it is not easy.
that was pretty rapid.
Yeah, I love my mom. How she stand, walk, and shout, and how she struggled to grow up me and my brother, siblings, and it is not easy. And my mom is a big fighter, and I'm she is my everything. So that's Gangamal. It's very close to me. It's not only Gangamal. In my all women characters, I wanted to start to write how my mom handling. So I took a lot of things from mom actually. Yeah.
Wow.
And she's amazing. She came for the workshop and we had food and she'll mix it and then she'll give us urundai for all of us. She's so adoring. I mean, she'll be like my mother too. She's like that. Very sweet, sweetest.
Nice. And Aarati.
Aarati, it's my imaginary character. So I love a girl like kind of Aarati. And Aarati also, it's not a antagonist in this movie. Aarati is equal to Tangalan. Tangalan is equal to Aarati. So two power. So that is the.
They're almost like one. They're
Yeah.
Wow. That was a really nice rapid fire. The most prettiest answer was that you put your mum and Gangamal together. That I think is the biggest take back for everyone who is watching this. Thank you so much. I'm going to get to your rapid fire, okay? Your first day on the set.
Is it a word that needs to be censored?
You said it.
How can I
You said
say it?
you just said it. That yes.
It's a word I can't say openly.
Okay, so we beeped it.
I was not ready for it. I just came and I was like,
Great. Your biggest learning from Tangalan.
biggest learning. I think I've gone deeper into myself as an artist, which I hadn't before that much. So I've learned a lot about myself, my weaknesses, my strengths, how to play to that. And nobody else had excavated that in me. Before this team, like every single Ranjit sir, of course, Vikram sir, just go deeper and deeper. So that's a very intrinsic journey.
Great. Pa Ranjit.
Favorite.
Okay. So sweet. I'm asking you about Tangalan, not Chiyan Vikram. It's Tangalan.
I think Son of Gold is what's etched into all of our minds. But I'll never forget that, I remember. And funnily enough, it was one of the last days of shoot where that shot you see in the trailer where he's in gold, it was surreal. It was beautiful. So I can't, and it coincided, it was very poetic. It was one of the last days of shoot. No, it was the last day, I think. The last day. And it's
With the golden city, you don't get it off, so it's okay. Let's shoot anymore. Let's start as the last shot.
yes, I can't unsee that. Tangalan is Son of Gold.
Chiyan Vikram.
I couldn't have done this without him. Nobody else. Irreplaceable. Irreplaceable is the word.
And one last question. Tamil cinema.
My first home. It's the first place where I started my journey with Malayalam, but I think Tamil is the place where I first felt accepted, felt loved, continue to do so. But when you feel like people are giving you a big group hug, that happened in Tamil. So it'll always, no matter where I'm working tomorrow, this will feel like my first home.
Great. So for all of you watching this video, send out the group hugs to Malvika right away, okay? Okay, my next question is to you, Parvati, okay? First and foremost, Gangamal.
Source power.
Wow. Ashokan.
Man. Asokan. Piece of my heart.
Oh. The city of gold, or we'll say Tangalan, the son of gold.
Tangalan. The love of my life.
Okay. Every punch that you gave Tangalan.
Was a punch into my kidney. In Malayalam we say karalu.
Very nice.
Okay. Pa Ranjit.
Tholar. Okay, great.
Your characterization, the way you are depicted in the film, the portrayal of Gangamal. I'm not talking about Gangamal, but the portrayal of Gangamal, like
Right.
the person you come out to be. What would be the right adjective for that?
It's like stitches coming undone at an infinity pace.
Oof.
Visceral.
Ouch.
And continues into infinity. That's the portrayal of her every single day and continues.
Continues. Your biggest take back from Tangalan?
To not be so rigid about the expectation from people you work with, that they might surprise you with what they can give you.
If this was something I could have done additionally for Tangalan, this would be it. What would it be?
No, I've given it my all. I've given it my whole being, my heart and my soul.
Why should people come to the theatres to watch Tangalan and Gangamal?
It is scary. Art can transform you. And if you're ready for that transformation, you should come. Whoa. But if you're not ready for that transformation, you're in for a ride.
Still, you can come and
That's
explain.
It's fun, guys. It's fun. It's not poetic.
Wow. Okay, that was a phenomenal rapid fire. Okay, and now our dearest Vikram sir. Okay, your first day on the set.
Wow.
Your last day on the set.
Wow. Wow.
That loin.
The cloth?
Yes.
The only thing that little shred of dignity that existed. If not, I would have been Adam.
The number of times you got bruised on the set, every single bruise. If you had a chance to say something to every bruise, what would it be?
Hi, bro. Nice seeing you again.
Okay. The scariest moment in the journey of Thangalan. The serious scary. Oh my goodness, why?
That'll be a little difficult to answer because every day we're working in a terrain that was scary. We had snakes, scorpions, blah, blah, blah. So we used to take that and keep it aside and then say, okay, let's get to work. The scariest moment is, of course, I think every take was somewhere there in the back of my mind, it has to come out well because it was all complicated and there was so much riding on it. So I think every take was somewhere there scary for me.
The moment that you realized Thangalan was definitely extremely different from all that you've done until your 60th film.
The moment he narrated the script and the role, I heard it and I just thought, wow, like, oh my God, I can really get into this. And the more he said, you have to take off your hair, you have to grow your hair, you have to be only in a loincloth and like all that kindly, like as soon as he said it, it started conjuring images of me looking like that and I realized where he was coming from, the background, the people, and I knew there's so much of angst in that situation or that person and I could actually express it and I could really dwell deep where I've never done that for. I mean, I would have for a lot of characters, but not this deep where your very existence is questionable. It's not like you have a tough time. It's like you're alive. Every breath you take, is so important.
Beautiful. A compliment that you'd want to give any co-star or a technician on the set. One compliment just for one person. That's, I know, unfair, but that's what's rapid fire.
I can't say one word, but I would say for Ranjit, I thought it was very important for me to tell him that I have done plays in school. I've always considered myself an actor and I did lots of plays and movies, but it was Sedu that I realized that I could do this. Bala introduced that to me and I became the actor that I became or whatever. But I told him after that I've done a lot of films which are very challenging, worked with some of the best directors. But again, I felt I've come to a threshold. I come to one place where in this place, I'm going to embark on another journey. And that's thanks to you because you again made me discover that I was getting a little complacent and I was thinking, I'm cool, I can do everything. He said, no, let's try this. And thank you, Ranjit, for that. I can't ever forget that. Apart from saying that, I really loved working with these two beautiful ladies and I can't leave them out. And the rest of the cast and crew. And they both are very different in the movies and even as friends, I mean, they equate in a very different way to me. And I'm so glad that we were as a team in Thangalan so that we could share the agony, the tears, the blood, the gore, and our 555 takes and still come out breathing and smiling and say, yeah, we want this movie to do well.
Wait to hear Rajit go, okay, one more. And we'll be like, yes, sir.
Sure, yeah.
Vijay sir, super sir. One more. Super sir, one more.
Yes, sir.
All right, this is something I truly miss about the sets of Thangalan. What would you miss?
That again, the same loincloth that you're talking about. I swear it, I'm telling you, it's not about me being crude or I'm just saying the liberation you feel wearing just a loincloth and you're there. See, I think anybody would do it. It's like you go there and you realize it's cool to be that and wear it. Then everything just vanishes and you're there. And initially when I went there and I have a scar and I'm going to wear a loincloth, what do people think? And I was like, adjusting. And after the first 5 minutes and you're like, yeah, what the hell? Then nobody watched, and everybody felt so cool to the extent that they're saying, why aren't you wearing it? Why do you want to wear a trouser, So I will really miss that. I want to go back to my costumer. I want to ask the costume department to give me one for me to frame up. Nobody knows. Is it a flag? Is it a plane? Is it a bird? What is it? I'll not tell anyone.
That is nice. But this is something we didn't know about. We shall talk about that before we wrap it up. My last question to you. What are your plans for the 15th of August?
Yeah, it's a very important day for every Indian, but I think it's a very important day for every cinema goer too.
Yes.
I hope. So we're all waiting for Ranjit to deliver something really promising. We haven't seen it, but from what we've heard, it's supposed to be quite interesting. So we'll stand and be the judge of it after we watch it.
That is my fear.
That's something none of us are worried about because it is a true Par Ranjit film, and we know that there just can't be anything
But
wrong with it.
everyone put a very big artwork, no? That is my.
His main thing is, I wanted to say something really sweet that Ranjit told me. I was talking to him, and no director has ever told me this. I said, how's the movie come out? There was a little length, and he cut stuff, and then he told me, that particular scene where you get beaten up by everyone, the most difficult scene you've ever done, that is gone, okay? That is the first thing he said. Then he tells me, sir, actually in this movie, your hard work, I want it to be seen. Everybody's worked hard, but I want that to be seen. Every movie of mine, as a director, I will have certain things in a movie. I had to let go of those scenes because of length, but I let go because I'd rather they see your work than see mine. Which I thought no director will say it, and I was very, he must have forgotten. The way he's looking, looks like he's forgotten. I thought that was, how cool and how beautiful is that? He said, hey, Ranjit, he's not doing that. It's like, no, I want the actor to get a name. I want the crew to get a name. I think hats off to him.
All right, so there we go to the last question of this entire interview. Why Thangalan is so important for all of India to come together and watch?
The movie will connect in the right way. Definitely, it will engage. It will be engaging and entertaining, and it will tell the story. You will definitely come to know that how gold the ancestor they'll found. So they found how they found the gold. It is a big journey. It's a big story. The story began a lot of artworks and dates and how colonial system used to the people. So the environmental things, so how exactly happened that time, the socio-politics of caste and so if you come to watch the movie, you will get to understand the whole picture of the KGF and Son of Gold, Thangalan and people.